Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the ninth edition of Red Shoes Talks. Today is an extremely special moment for us at Red Shoes Talks and making some amazing news public to our entire audience. Today, I have no less than the managing director of hotel.school, Patricia Iinuma, and I'm so happy to have you here on the Red Shoes Talks today. Welcome to Red Shoes Talks, Patricia. Hope you're well and tell us something about you.
Thank you, Simon. Hello. Hi, Simon and audience. My name is Patricia Iinuma, as you correctly pronounced my last name, so that's a point beginning already. I'm the managing director of hotel.school. It's a startup, it's a Swiss startup in education, providing virtual courses, virtual micro courses for hospitality professionals. We launched in October this year in Lausanne, Switzerland, with a collection of 7 courses. We have another 21 courses in production right now. All of our courses are made in collaboration with what we call subject matter experts. Those are all professional in their fields and professional and recognized leaders in their fields. We've launched courses in corporate social responsibility, distribution, revenue management, social media management, value creation, food and beverage. And all of these courses are basically condensing what we think is the best of a traditional brick and mortar hotel management school, but making it accessible, impactful, self-paced, so that it is at the fingertips for anyone in hospitality or aiming to join hospitality that is now looking and needs to upskill or reskill. So upskill learning skills. What we're finding today is that a lot of our participants are people who are, let's say, a director of sales and marketing in a hotel, has been there for a while, but now suddenly with the current situation has had added responsibilities added to their plate. So for instance, a director of sales and marketing who used to manage a social media team now has to plan and execute the social media campaigns and strategy. So we're giving that knowledge. It needs to be fast. Or another profile of our participants are people who are, for instance, a front office manager who wants to get into revenue. So this is reskilling. He wants to find new opportunities that even in a corporate setting, he wouldn't be eligible to do that type of course, to get that type of training in a corporate setting, because that wouldn't be his natural path. And of course, the third and unfortunately quite a large part of our participants today are those who have been affected by COVID and are looking for new opportunities and are using this time now to quickly gain new skills at a price that we think it's fair, accessible, and that they can actually apply the skills and hopefully find new opportunities as soon as the market is ready.
Wow, that's incredible. I have like a million questions for you. Massive introduction. We understand all the different reasons why you did that as whatever. But when I hear Lausanne and hotel school, I'm thinking you're sitting in the shark tank of education. Why Lausanne?
I think you said it, because it is the birthplace of education. Switzerland is the birthplace of education. Lausanne is the center of it. I personally come from private hospitality education. I worked for Swiss Education Group, which is the largest provider of education with over 6,000 students a year. So I was managing all of our marketing and communication efforts, including bringing in new students. Sometimes people don't realize that the private schools are actually selling their product and trying to capture new students. So I had a very good insight on what it takes to bring in the students, what they're looking for, what they're getting for the price they're paying. That is one portion of it. And second is, of course, because we want to make sure that we are giving access to we are, Switzerland is a birthplace of hospitality, but also it's associated with quality, is associated with timeless innovation. And a lot of people don't think of Switzerland like this, but this is quite a little innovative hub, and there's a lot happening. So that's where we are. We are a hospitality school. We want to teach hospitality professionals, and we want to democratize education and hospitality. And what best place to do it from here. Not to mention that our founding executives have all had years of experience in forming the Swiss hotelier. They also come with backgrounds from Swiss private institutions, as well as technology and travel, and myself from luxury hospitality. I worked for over a decade with Hyatt. So I've had myself first-hand knowledge of being a hospitality professional, of being a hotel management student, because I'm actually an alumna of one of the traditional schools here. And so bringing it all together and shaking it up and transforming it.
So you learn from the best and you're going to make it better. So that's incredible, and obviously needs a lot of courage as well. And democratizing education, I like that a lot. And one question I have in relation to that, Patricia, is obviously, how do you connect cheaper education, or let's say less expensive education, more affordable education with quality? You know, that's something like you're shifting your entire tutorial basically online. You don't have to finance a campus. You don't have to finance expensive infrastructures. You don't have to finance an amazing amount of professors and teams that running a campus or a hotel school or any university in today's world. So you want to make that more accessible. I think everybody gets that. But then also the immediate question is, what is worth a certificate versus making affordable education and still has something you can take away and is being regarded as very professional, delivered, of course. I've made my own experience. We're going to talk about that. But how do you bring that into the balance?
Well, that's an excellent question. Like you said, it's easy to make it cheap. We just simply don't have the prohibited overheads that traditional hotel schools, or schools for the matter, have. And the traditional hotel school in Switzerland, for those who may not be familiar, normally tends to be a full board type of experience when our students are living on campus, when they are working on campus, obviously we don't have that cost, right? And obviously we know that we're taking that away from the experience. If you ask me, that was one of the main attractions of being a student, and we hear that often from past students, is that coming to Switzerland and learning the content that is taught to you formally, that's one thing, and that there's a value to that. But coming in and networking and finding peers and building your network for the future, that's another portion of it, right? So the first portion, well, like I said, we remove all of the overheads, and we really looked at the curriculum. And not only the curriculum of our hotel schools, which, if we say critically enough, when I was there, we know that there's a gap. If you look at all schools, business schools, hotel schools, they're saying we are basically, our courses are taught by hospitality professionals, our courses. And this is not untrue. I don't want to put it that way, but the reality is that you are probably going to be exposed to that professional or that guest lecturer or whatever they're calling it for an hour or two, or the conversation that he will come, or his speaking engagement of that period, right? Where everything else that you're learning is what they need to teach, because they're also giving you a bachelor's degree or a master's degree. So you're going into the academic environment. So you need to learn things that you necessarily won't solve your problem in the professional world straight away, but it's a different type of objective. Where we took, we are, the industry and employees have a problem today. They either don't have the skills in terms of the professionals, or the industry is looking for skills that are not there. So we took away and we said, out of the fluff, this is the meat. This is your bread and butter. This is what we need to learn. And our approach in bringing in these professionals, because you could make the case and say, well, they're also only there for a few hours, is this is your course. We are providing you the framework. We are providing you the methodology, because there is technology, educational technology behind it. But we need full dedication. Is how would you you take this profile of people, would you hire them to do this, that whatever skills gap that we're trying to solve, revenue, social media management, and they are responsible for researching ahead of the course, for creating the course, sitting down. You've done a couple of yourselves, so it's extremely, it's basically your lifetime work, your personal experiences and your academic experiences on SME that you're putting together, then condensing it. And then once the course is out, you're still animating and you're still going back and doing webinars, you're answering questions. So I feel that because the courses belongs to the subject matter expert, it is their names, it's also their reputation, we get a lot more engagement than simply when a traditional school gets a speaker to come in. So you have that quality content there.
Yeah.
And of course, and then the third bit that I don't say, so less overhead, professional, really working closely with professional. The third bit is technology. We're working with brain-based technology. So brain-based is basically making sure that you are learning, we're presenting you the content in the best way for the brain to absorb it, which means now we know short bursts. No one's going to sit in front of the computer. Some people might, but that's not optimal. It's actually forming engagement and emotional connection with the participants. So we're not just putting an offline lesson online. We are really trying to build that story and create that experience on the platform. So it's brain-based. We're looking at engagement. We're looking at spacing. So you can take the course at once, but that's not how your brain best absorbs it. Gamification, of course, that a lot of people are using it here and there, but it's making it a little more fun. All of this to create an emotional connection and therefore enhance the learning of the participant. Sorry, I talk a lot. Is there a question here?
Well, I have one, so you don't, but I do.
Was
so
I
not
muted?
a problem not a problem at all, Patricia. We're taking the full length of this, but it's amazing. We talked about democratization of education, but also reinventing education. And with all the things that you've just mentioned, one thing that I've learned is micro learning, to have small snippets of content that you can digest and then also do tests against and everything else. And I mean, the overall project is a lot deeper for us to go into a lot more detail for the time that we have, but it's incredible, and I think everybody understood, especially now the timing could not be better in terms of travel restrictions and doing upscaling, like
upskilling,
and doing and trying to change jobs and find new educations and everything else. And one thing we find very interesting, and I never thought I became an online professor so quickly, so it was an interesting experience to go through myself, from actually writing scripts in all the way down to production. One thing you said before, take away the fluff. So let's take away the fluff for a second. And I love that too. You go straight to the point. This is what you need to know. This is what's important for you to do in this industry. With hotel.school, we're talking about hospitality, right? And you and I know very well how fast convergence is happening by changing consumer behavior. Hotels had it even rougher than vacation rentals for the last 6 months, at least, even before vacation rental with platforms like Airbnb and others have grown like crazy, right? And now you have decided to actually add vacation rental curriculum to your program. Why is that?
Well, actually, I think that you cannot read a newspaper today, or an article, and online, I sound so old, without coming across good news. And I think the only place right now, especially in hospitality, I follow a lot of hospitality news. That's where my heart is on top of my business. Vacation rental seems to be the bright spot right now, right? So we started talking about it with our team and saying we would like to create a vacation rental course. How tell people how is it, what it is about, how do you get into it? And then we thought, who would be the best person? Who is the personality in vacation rental? Obviously, if you go to hotels, you already know, there's a CEO of Marriott, there's a CEO of Hyatt, there's the Four Seasons. But who is that person in vacation rental? And then one of our founders actually he's a friend of yours, and he said, I know the person in vacation rental, a recognized leader. I'm not saying this here because I am in your podcast, but this is true, that when I started researching and asking people and really trying to get into, bite into this, who are the key players? What are the needs? We cannot fix the need if we don't understand the problem. Simon Lehman is like, all stars pointed to Simon Lehman. We had our first conversation in Bern a few months ago, and quickly, I think the conversation evolved from let's do one course in vacation rental to wait, there's a need for education and professionalization of this field, of this sector, of this vertical of hospitality that is, it's really, really incredible. People are yelling for education. That was our first conversation, which opened our eyes, and we said, let's do a whole collection. Then we started speaking to the vacation rental professionals, saying, is this interesting to you? Is it something, and who? And it was overwhelming. I like to say that on the hotel side, the response and the appetite for our courses was very positive. Nothing like in the vacation rental. I already have people asking me if the courses are ready to sell, you know. And there's an anxiety, there's more than an appetite. People, they're hungry, they really need these courses. So it makes sense. And then for us as a hotel school, it made much more sense, because to me, a hotelier, especially a Swiss hotelier, needs to be well-rounded. And vacation rental is simply that vertical that we can no longer ignore. It's not just anymore the guy that has, you know, the retired guy that has 2 apartments, lives in one and wants to rent the next one. So it's a more complex business. It's a complex business that my understanding, and I'm not an expert, is that a lot of the solutions that are there were brought in by people who were not necessarily vacation rental natives or came from different industry, including from hospitality. So I think there's an opportunity there to really educate vacation rental with vacation rental needs and tools. And for us is to really bring in an extra sets of skills, so that a traditional hotelier can actually say, okay, you know what, I'm looking for a job. Now in my town, there's 200 hotels that I can look at, and now I can actually look at this vacation rental as another possibility to develop skills. And I think we really want, of course, vacation rentals there, but whatever we can do, Simon, to help hospitality professionals in the industry, we will. Be it bringing the right courses, be it pricing it in a way that sometimes, you know, it makes it dangerous, but we want to make it accessible. And I don't want to, you know, I don't want to prolong though much, but I just want to say that I came from, like I said, a traditional hotel school. I was very lucky that I came from a traditional hotel school. My parents paid for it. I ended up, you know, you can either pay to learn or you be paid to learn, right? So I paid, I learned. And when I got to the industry, how long does it take, you know, a good career? I had a very good career. I went from Switzerland to Chicago, worked for Park Hyatt, went to Paris. I definitely, I think, had the book for the books, but the gap in terms of return, in terms of what you invest in your education and what you're going to get in your salary. And I'm not complaining with my past employers. I was actually very well paid, but still it's quite low, you know, and I think that return is not there. And if we can correct from the beginning and say vacation rental, this is how you learn it, then 100 years from now, you don't need another hotel.school to revolutionize vacation rental education. Let's get it right from the start.
Not to revolutionize again. I like that. And I could not agree with you more. And obviously I know the background of that story, and then it was interesting to hear the way you came up to obviously go there that way as well. And you know, without a doubt, when I got that phone call, for me, it was a simple no-brain decision, because we at AJL talking about professionalism and raising the bar within our industry for a long time. And when we had the call to say, hey, you guys want to be part of this, I didn't even have to think about it twice. For me, it was an immediate yes, and say, without a doubt, this is something we've been waiting for. If you can help us professionalize the content and help us distribute the content, we will create it for you. We'll find you the partners and everything else, because we are the thought leaders in this industry. And if that is an absolute winning combination for us. And it's been an amazing journey to work with hotel.school see how professional you approach the curriculum, the production of the curriculum. It was a big experience for us as well, writing 30,000 word scripts in like 2 weeks and then producing them online with a professional studio has been an amazing experience. But I think the quality is extremely important. One thing that we always say also at AJL, and I use in a lot of my conferences, a thesis in the way, first of all, today in our industry, we're sort of, the bad cops to the good cops when you compare hotels or hospitality to vacation rental. So the first thing is we enjoy a lot. We're talking about hospitality now, no matter what it is, service apartments, hotels, vacation rental. And now we're talking about RVs as well, becoming movable hospitality products as well. I mean, recreation vehicles just raised 100 million to grow their business. People want their space. They want to, we're seeing things like glamping, that's hospitality as well, and a lot of other things. So I love the fact that all this is now finally coming together. It was sort of, anybody who visited a hotel school from around my friends circle, they want to end up in a Park Hyatt or in a 5-star hotel. But that's obviously the tip of the iceberg, and we have a lot below that. And I think it's all becoming mixed up. When we see new products evolving in vacation rental, a lot of it are more hospitality-like products or hotel-like products, because we're still trying to address 60% of guests who have not rented yet. So there's still the traditional hotel guests who have not taken vacation rental as an alternative. But now with COVID and privacy, people want privacy and everything else. Vacation rental has its absolute boom year in 2020. And for that, we need better education, because we need to deliver to different expectations. Somebody who rented an apartment 20 years ago, he knew what he was going to get. So he was happy with that, right? But a person who rents a house, a villa, or an apartment today in 2020 has totally different expectations. But the level of education has not raised. I always compare that with Uber drivers or Uber and Airbnb hosts. And I say, to become a professional hairdresser, at least in Switzerland, you need to do a 3-year apprenticeship, right? And the first year you only mop the floor. In the second year, you're lucky to wash hair. And then in the third year, they might let you cut a few people's hair. Yeah. And in our industry, the only thing you need is an apartment, and you're a property manager already without any education whatsoever. And in Uber, it's the same. For Uber, you need a driver license and a car, and off you go, and you become an entrepreneur. And I think for us, times are over that this is good enough, because we're fighting with regulatory issues. We need to be professional. We need to say, hey, these people are educated. They know what it means to deliver guests a good experience. They know what it means to be to make sure that all the safety and security standards are up to date. So one thing I want to know from you in relation to the content is what is hotel.school focusing on in terms of vacation rental to start off with what you want to provide to your audience in terms of courses.
Excellent. Well, first of all, I want to say that the professionals, the team of professionals that are behind this collection is incredible. We have professionals from Australia, Canada, 3 different parts of the United States, Europe. So first of all, it's a very global perspective on the vacation rental segment. Second is that the first collection of courses, my understanding after I spoke to you a little bit more and to others in the industry, and that today is that the market is more or less a 50-50 split, where you have 50% of people working in it that are actual property managers, and the other half are property owners, someone who might have another job actually and just have another property, and they're doing it to gain a little bit more income. They're doing it themselves. So the first 6 courses that we're launching on the 1st of December, product plug, my ad, shameless, is actually targeting the professional property manager. Those who are managing a couple more, they're doing it as their main job, right? We have courses starting from, I think what is the most basic, I think everyone should take, is business strategy in vacation rental. And I say this because I actually, in filming those courses and going through the content, I end up taking the courses. I'm actually paying to work here because getting all these courses for free. So the business strategy, I think it's a must. Then second is revenue management, because, well, I think it's the most, I think of myself, if I was a property owner, or even you need to know how to price it, you need to know who your competitors are, you need to know today how to navigate it. And the third bit is operations for vacation rental. These 3 courses we're launching already on the 1st of December. And I think if someone takes these 3 courses, they have a very, very good idea, and they have amazing tools on how to apply a whole entire, business strategy, enhance, some revenue management tools and operations. And me as a previous hotelier, sitting through these courses, when there's always a conversation. Well, if the industry is doing so well now, or well, let's say well in relative terms, right? So if the industry is doing so well today without the education, why can they keep going that way, right? And what I learned in taking these courses is that, you know what, you guys, vacation rental, you're probably still going and doing really well, but my God, I knew revenue management. I was director of sales before. I worked very closely with many revenue teams, love it. And sitting down there and thinking, oh my God, the way that we should be looking at revenue management for vacation rental is so different. The notion of costs is extremely different. The notion of distribution, the notion of, even what is one property versus, a room. So yes, you can make money, but if you sit there and you do a course like this, I can promise you that you are really, really, really going to increase and improve the impact, the profitability, the earnings of your business. So those are the 3. And then we're going to have courses in marketing for vacation rental. That's already done, in process. We have a course in data and technology, which I think is so interesting right now. And we have a course in, there's one more course that I forgot. Distribution. Voila. Which is another one of the topics. So all of this that will help both property managers, like I said, property owners, I think they can benefit. I think some of the courses might be a bit too complex if you only have one apartment and don't know what even revenue management is. But overall, a fantastic collection of courses that you can buy individually. So our participants, they can choose one course and do it, or they can buy the full collection, the vacation rental collection by AJL and hotel.school.
Wonderful. Yeah, we're all excited as well. We can't wait for it. I mean, the preparation has been tough and a lot of work, but now we know what's behind it. And especially for us, it was an incredible experience to also work with professionals like you, Patricia, and your team, the way you produce these courses and how you go about the quality, which I think is super important to us. That's again an issue for the vacation rental industry as a whole. We need to raise the bar. We need to show more professionalism towards our guests, our hosts, and while we still want to attract a large number of new customers to our vertical, and as the vertical is converging with hotels and any other type of accommodation and lodging, I think hospitality finally becomes one. First of all, it was more the OTAs who started to mix hotels with vacation rentals like Booking.com and others. But now it's the consumer starts to understand what the difference is. And depending on what his travel requirements are and his behavior and his travel requirements when he goes somewhere, maybe he needs a villa one day, the other day he needs a hotel. And I think for that, we can now put also education together onto one platform, say, we're serving a guest, we're being hospitable to an individual, and we want to make his experience a lifetime experience. And I think
hospitality is the art of welcoming strangers. It doesn't say hospitality is not vacation rental, hospitality is hotels, hospitality, it can be a boat, it can be an RV. I think in terms of the heart of the hotelier, the purpose of the hotelier, it's the same. We are doing the same. In terms of applied skills, that's where we're here to help. But definitely there's no separation. There should not be, yes, a rivalry. I still think hotel people manage revenue better than you guys, but that's my decade hotelier experience and my passion for that industry. That shouldn't exist. What should exist is a well-rounded hospitality professional that can manage a boat, an RV, a vacation rental, a hotel, or whatever it is, respecting and being knowledgeable of it, the differences and the particularities of each sector.
Wow, that was like a firework, Patricia, with an amazing amount of passion for our audience. And this is what combines you and I together, that we are both extremely passionate about hospitality. You wrapped this conversation up. I couldn't have done it better. Hospitality is the art of welcoming strangers. I mean, that applies to any type of hospitality product. As you mentioned, we should really think about this. It's the art and how we're welcoming stranger. And we want to help to become better and welcoming these people and providing an unforgettable experience. And that is not just in hotels, it's in a lot of other verticals as well. We at AJL Consulting and AJL Education are extremely happy to participate with Hotel.school. It was an amazing journey. Now we're super excited to go live with our products. What we have put together, we're looking forward to continue working with you, Patricia. You guys are an amazing team to work with and very enjoyable. I would like to thank you for spending half an hour with me today on this chat. Hopefully you will stay safe and well. And obviously, last but definitely not least, we wish you only the best and good luck with the launch of everything that you're doing with Hotel.school. Stay tuned, follow us. And the last word is to you, Patricia.
Well, I wanted to thank you again. I think these days, especially for us in hospitality, wide hospitality, hotels, education hospitality, vacation rental, whatever it is, the times are extremely, extremely tough. You know, when people ask me, who is your target client? Who is this for? It's so easy. It's my friends. I have friends with 20, 30 years experience, 10 years experience. Everyone is in, the majority of people are affected by this. So truly, if we're able to bring knowledge that is affordable, that is impactful, that widens people's range of possibility, I will be very happy. I get emotional because, like I said, these are not statistics to me. These people have faces, they have stories. So good luck to us. I really hope to all of you watching that you will take these courses, that it will help you. They will help you progress in your career, that you will come back and say, hey, make more courses. We are going to launch a second collection dedicated to the individual property owner. This will come next year. But that's it. I also wanted to wish everyone towards the end of the year, a little bit of, a new year with hope, optimism, innovation, creativity, a little bit of faith. And if we're able to, and luck, because at the end of the day, it's luck, right? I mean, we could have not connected. So, and luck. And I think we will all be okay.
Thank you, Patricia. I think the world never experienced that we're sharing the same pain all at the same time together. So we're in it together. We're coming out together. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Simon.